Now, the India versus England cricket contest was expected to be a strong advert for Test cricket, and that's what happened over the last 4 days. The first Test is always the one that sets the tone for any series. But the Indian city of Hyderabad witnessed a resilient English side that stood tall against a proven Test side that defends well at home. Chasing a target of 231, India fell short on day 4 on a Sunday. A similar capitulation that happened over at Gaba, which we spoke about. What were the 5 reasons for that to happen here, and England's success, and where did India falter? England smartly chose to bat first, given how pitches in India can possibly get slower and possibly turn as well towards the 4th innings. The one man who in fact stood tall and played a critical knock that made the difference up front, skipper Ben Stokes. He walked in, of course, when England was struggling at 137 for 6. His 70 added some valuable runs to the English total. In fact, after the first innings, India's R. Ashwin said that they probably let England score a little more than they should have. Second reason, Joe Root, the batter, might have troubled India in the past, but in the second innings, it was Joe Root, the bowler, who stepped up to shepherd the young spin bowlers alongside him. He got rid of both Ravindra Jadeja and Yashasvi Jaiswal, who were on course to scoring centuries. Though Jadeja's dismissal raised some eyebrows, of course, in his presence, they continued when the pitch was holding true, could have changed the course of the game. It would have given India the psychological edge. Root bowled well in tandem with Tom Hartley to put the pressure. Root picked 4 wickets, but India still managed to score 436 runs. The 190-run lead made it a daunting task ahead for England. And that makes me come to reason number 3. When the big guns failed to contribute in England's second innings, it was the youngster that set the stage on fire, Ollie Pope. We mentioned in the lead up to the test how the pressure and expectations were on the youngsters from both these sides. Ollie Pope scored a daddy 100, means he did not stop at just 100 runs. He kept piling on the agony to finish at 192. Not many would have given Ollie a chance had they seen his previous record, or his record up till now in India. He had only managed to score 154 runs in his previous 9 outings, a poor average of just over 17. So he was coming in with some appalling numbers behind him. The youngster held one end up and frustrated the Indian bowlers. Thanks to Pope's knock, England got back into the game, and Ollie Pope's batting reflected that much of maturity and resilience. Reason number 4, Ben Stokes was breaking into the test with, of course, how well would Bazball succeed. There was a lot of questions of whether it would really come good in subcontinent conditions. Commentators were practically predicting a landslide victory for India. He was going in with the most inexperienced spinners that are critical in these conditions. One of them, Shoaib Bashir, was sent back home, in fact, after his visa proved to be delayed. And he's, of course, joining in later. But Stokes was coming into the first test a tad frustrated. He showed none of that on the field, though. The fact that he isn't bowling now didn't matter. He was the perfect strategist who backed his team and their collective vision. His counter-attacking innings aside, he kept faith in someone like Tom Hartley. The youngster got thrashed in the first innings. The key to any spinner is captain's confidence, and Stokes understood that perfectly.
The game plan there is we are out here for a long tour and this is going to be a long game. So I was willing to give him the longer spell, regardless of what had happened, because I knew I was going to have to turn back to him at some point throughout this test match. Allowing him to have the longer spell at the start was almost justification to say, what I was telling you before the game started is going to happen. Whether or not that was the reason to say he got 7 wickets and won us the game this innings, who knows? But that was the thought process behind it, and giving the people we select complete backing and not going back on the words that we speak.
On to reason number 5, it has to be the youngster who really stole the show on day 4. Tom Hartley had a horrid outing in the first innings, predictably so, but came back with renewed confidence in the second. With the ball keeping low and the rough patches only on the good length areas, Hartley exploited the conditions really well. We called him India's Akshar Patel equivalent, and he did exactly what Akshar had done to England the last time they had toured. The left-arm spinner reposed the faith Stokes showed on him. His consistent line and length created pressure on the Indian batters. This pushed India, and the batters crumbled under pressure. The pitch didn't have any demons. The batting conditions may have been difficult. It was very slow compared to the earlier days, but if India's last recognized pair If R. Ashwin and K.S. Bharat could stitch a patient 60-run partnership, why couldn't the rest? India's batting really lacked a bit of teeth and grit. Defensive batting is a bit of an art that's mastered by so many who have stood tall over the past during India's dominance in Test cricket. This Indian lineup, though, lacked that maturity and patience to grind it out. Even the seniors disappointed. After the defeat, the Indian captain Rohit Sharma, in fact, reflected on the matter. He said that when you are put against the wall, you need to show character and you have to be brave enough, and he thought that they weren't. And England had the exact opposite emotions. A team that was not meant to win showed spirit and resolve. In fact, after the triumph, Stokes rated this victory as one of his greatest as captain.
Since I've taken the captaincy on, we've had a lot of fantastic moments as a team. We've had a lot of great victories. We've been involved in some amazing games. But I think where we are and who we are playing against, this victory is 100% definitely our greatest triumph since I've been captain.
England head into the second test in Visakhapatnam with a lot of confidence. The pressure is clearly on the hosts. The words that former England captain Michael Vaughan said of turning tracks, often almost playing into the hands of the visiting sides. That would be ringing out loud somewhere. Yes, it is smart to not fall prey to your own plans, but also wiser to play to your strengths, with no doubt.